Life and business is like the changing season. More than the best way to illustrate what's happening in your business, what's happening in your life, this illustration of the changing season. Frank Sinatra used to say, life is like the season, like the season. You cannot change. One of the things that, come to grips with is what you can change and what you cannot change. You cannot change the season. You can change yourself. You cannot change the season. You can change yourself. Therein lies the chance to live an extraordinary life. Learning to change yourself. In economic sense, my mentor put it this way: to climb the ladder of success as high as you wish to climb, here's the key. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. He said if you work hard on your job, you could make a living, which is fine. But if you work hard on yourself, you could make a fortune. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. And let's put it in philosophical language. Two things on economics and philosophical. Here's the first one I learned. Your income is primarily determined by your philosophy. I didn't learn that until I was 25 years old. I never taught it in high school. I went to college 1 year and never heard it. Your income is primarily determined by your philosophy, not the economy. Then when I finally understood that, I got excited about it because I knew I couldn't change the economy, but I was assured that I certainly could change my philosophy. And I did that. And here's the philosophy. Success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract. Become an attractive person.
All right, my friends, one more email I got to send out here, a reminder for the folks that are registered. We have over 150 registrations tonight, so it's going to be pretty busy. But just going to send out a reminder email, and we'll be right back with some more Mr. Jim Rohn right here, the godfather of personal development. Love this guy.
Build on the sand, build on the rock. One of the great lessons of life. I'm an amateur on the Bible, but here's what the storyteller says. There were two nice, don't make the note now, two nice people, not one good and one evil, but two nice people. However, and that is the drama of life. However, two nice people. However, one built his house on the rock, and the other built his house on the sand. Two nice people. Meaning it's possible for nice people to be casual. It's possible for nice people to be careless. And sometimes you can be careless and lose your life. Not evil, just careless. In Los Angeles now, when the light turns green, if you're in your car and you're there at the intersection and the light turns green, you better not go. However, caution. For 2 or 3 seconds, waiting for the maniacs that are running the red light, crossing in front of you, even though the light is green. That little extra bit of caution, rather than being aggressive, little bit of caution could very well save your life. However, you don't have to be evil to lose your life. All you have to be is a little careless in an unfortunate moment. So the key is to be not overcautious, but to be cautious. Caution. Don't build your house on the sand. Now add this note now. We're all tempted. When I was growing up, there was a cartoon of a little boy. And it showed this little boy with a little devil on one shoulder and a little angel on the other shoulder, both whispering. And the little devil said, go ahead and do it. It'll be okay. And the little angel said, no. It won't be okay. Yes, go ahead and do it. No. Whispering. How often does that occur for all of us? Every day. Go through the red light. It'll be okay. You must beware. Okay. Not to be careless. Not to be casual. And build your house on the sand. The same is true with your health. Don't build on the sand. The same is true with your career. Don't build on the sand. The same is true of being in business. Don't build on the sand. Build on the rock. Because even nice people can make careless decisions, casual decisions that accumulate over a period of time. Don't build on the sand. Build on the rock.
All right, let's get it started. If you guys can hear me okay, can you guys say something right now in the room there? I'm going to call out some names here. Bill Glacier, good to see you, buddy. Bob Horan, if you guys can hear me, just type in the room there. Let us know where you're dialed in from. Just type in the room there on the chat. There's a chat box there. And let me see if I can start the webcam. Maybe you guys can see me. So you're not talking to a computer. Okay. Can you guys see me okay? Let's fix that camera. There we go. Brian out there in Erie County. There's a lot of Erie folks out there. Are you, let me guess, are you friends with one of, did you go to high school with like Chris Smith or something? Because I think he's from that area, if I'm not mistaken. So is John Derlin. And then Carla too. See, that's where you grew up. Apparently I'm missing something. It must be a big little town. Okay. Hey, it must just be a common thing there, Brian. Well, good to see you on the webinar tonight. Okay, you guys should be able to see me now. I'm waving. So let's get started. I actually have parents tonight, what do you call it, parent meetings, open house. My kids can get some awards and stuff. They have about a week left in school, so we're excited about it. We're going to homeschool them next year. Some of the benefits of being able to work from home, and we want to travel more, so it's going to be a good thing for us. We're going to be super busy. But I've heard some great stories of other parents that have homeschooled their kids, and good things come out of building them up as leaders and stuff. And it's interesting because I talk to so many parents, and I think it's just conditioning, right? The way we're programmed, whether you grew up, I wouldn't even say rich because I don't think most rich people are part of like the 1% club. I'd say like middle class to poor class. We're all conditioned to, it's not your fault, it's actually conditioning from schools and stuff that we have to be somewhere outside of our home and be away from our spouse for 8 hours so we can breathe and come back. And I can tell you it's far from the truth for us. We enjoy being with each other, my wife and I. It's one of the reasons why we do what we do. And some folks that come on here are family folks. Other folks just like being independent. So different walks of life. I'd say my majority of my niche has always been families, building up the family, the way God intended. I think that's important. If you're a family person, you grew up with a good, strong foundation. I know I did. My parents are still together, been married now, over 25, 30 years, and honestly, I lost count because I just see them together forever. So that's the kind of folks that I like to attract in my business, in my life, because I think we're doing something here at EDS, Elite Dropshippers, that's it's bigger than the finances. It's bringing folks back together to build a foundation around their families that they deserve. And if they set clear, defined goals, this is why I love Mr. Jim Rohn. You hear him quoting some good scriptures there from the good book. He says, I'm not an expert on the Bible, neither am I. But he says, some persons build their house on the rock, other people build their life or house on the sand. And with that philosophy, I was always brought up to think in a positive manner, to be a better leader in my community. So whatever your goals are, if that's some of your goals, we welcome you. If not, if it's just about you, well, we welcome you too. So with that said, let's get started. Some folks like to get down to the nitty-gritty, like my friend Nacho Libre says. So let's do it here. So we're gonna go into some new stuff tonight. Some things that changed. It looks like eBay got compromised, or passwords got compromised. If you have an eBay account already, you want to make sure you change your passwords. That was just announced not too long ago here, within the last 24, 48 hours. eBay got hacked. Over 1.7 million accounts compromised. They feel that PayPal accounts are safe, but just for security reasons, I would recommend changing your passwords anyway. It's a good measure to do that every 60 to 90 days anyway. One of our leaders here on the team has discovered a method that if you actually click on your items on eBay, okay, they actually helps with ranking up, right? And so I spent the last almost 60 days working with our programmers to develop this tool that automatically goes and imports your items into the EDS database, and it goes through and starts clicking on them using a new IP. So it's as if a new person looked at that item, which helps your rankings in your items and sell. So I'm going to show you a quick snapshot of one of our accounts here. Let's see, right in here. So let me show you this real quick. These are items that got imported from one of my stores here, and you'll notice that the links to these items are inside the database, right? And when the database clicks on the item, a trigger gets put. You can see a 1 here. When it gets clicked again, it goes back to 0. Then when it gets clicked again, it goes back to 1. And so as a user, you don't have to worry about this. This is just what's happening behind the scenes. But this is showing that it's grabbing the item. It's going to go clicking on each item in your store to show that a new body, a new IP is viewing, so that your views are starting to increase on that particular item. Thus shows popularity on eBay, and it's the philosophy behind what Don McIntyre on the team actually discovered. So super excited to release that to you guys tonight. It'll be available to you guys sometime after I get back from home and parents' night tonight. So it should be about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight. If you don't hear back from me, that means I'm too tired, and probably I'll launch it in the morning. But it's already available. You'll have that link in the back office of the training center, and you'll get an email about that, as well as a post in our Facebook group. So stay tuned for that tool. You guys are in for a treat there. That's, again, available for both basic memberships and advanced memberships. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'd love to get some feedback there. And so it's still in beta, and just let us know how that's working out for you guys. We've already tested out with Dawn and myself, and it's been driving traffic, which is a good thing. So let's get started. I'll go through some PowerPoint slides to stay on track, and I'm going to go as fast as I can through this. So make sure to have your ears, turn off all distractions, the automatic income reducer, also known as a TV. Turn that guy off, and let's focus on this presentation here as we get started. So let me move it over to this guy. Here we go. All right. Let me grab my window here so I can see the questions. Feel free to ask questions at any time. I'll be poking back and forth to make sure that I'm answering all your questions and stuff like that. So we can be on a good note here. All right. Let's see if I can do this shortly. All right. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just adjusting some windows here. Okay, cool. So let's get started. Looks like that email I just sent out worked out effectively. I have Chris Smith writing me back. So that's good. Okay, so you're about to discover a system to create a part-time or full-time income from the comfort of your beautiful home. And some tools that you need. By the way, it doesn't have to be your home. If you have an RV and you like to travel, as long as you have an internet tethering device like your cell phone, you can be anywhere you like in the United States or anywhere that you're able to do eBay in the world. Make sure you check with your local county and country laws. Make sure you have an eBay account open, and more on that later. Excuse me. So a system to create a part-time, full-time income from the comfort of your home. Tools that you will need, very important. Pay close attention because these are very important that you have these on your computer. You got to make sure you have at least some knowledge of how to install a computer program. you got to be familiar with Excel or have it, to learn some basic simple concepts to understand how to modify some information on Excel. It's not that difficult. We have it all laid out for you. All you have to do is go in there and just do some modifications. If you're already advanced in Excel, then you may want to consider the advanced section. We have some pretty cool formulas that allow you to really modify your titles, which you'll learn about here in a second, really quick. You got to be coachable. Don't do it your own way in the beginning. I don't care how smart you think you are. I come from the engineering background, and everybody's got a big ego as an engineer. We think we can do it better ourselves, and great, then why are you here? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Why are you here? Are you here to be coachable? Are you here to learn how to make a multiple six-figure income on eBay or with the EDS system? And or are you here to just do things your way? And, hey, you know what? I've worked with all walks of life, no matter how much I educate folks on this mindset. The Jim Rohn, Mr. Jim Rohn information is available for you in the back office. If you're having a crappy day, you wake up and you're struggling, okay? And if you're not religious or if you don't turn to the good book and you just need a good pick-me-up, the personal development section is a place to be. It's going to help you get to a good place in your mindset, because I believe without having the correct, proper mindset, you can no longer work with yourself, and you got to go back to work. And so if you have a job, that's a good thing to have until you replace that income if that's your goal, or maybe having part-time income, that's what your goals are. Whatever the case is, come to the system, come to the EDS with an open mind, open heart, and then, if you're a loving person, we welcome you. We are here to serve you and help you guys, but you do have to be coachable. That's my stress on that section. Internet connection, you got to have a strong internet connection, at least ability to upload some files, no more than a megabyte, because Excel files aren't too big. Your computer is running smoothly, so if you have some infections or you got some malware stuff, you want to make sure you clean that up before you get started with us. So, quick question, what would an additional $10 to $200 a day mean to you and your family? I know when I got started with this information, I was $50 in the bank account, and I had to go find the money to get started. I had to, because I had no means but living paycheck to paycheck, and I got tired of it. I got tired of living that same rat race 9-to-5 mentality, and frankly I didn't like the people I work with at any job I went to. It's not their fault. I just didn't like being there all day, because when I made a promise to my wife, I wanted to be married with her and be with her most of my day, at least 90% of my day, not 20%. Get home and I'm tired and go do it again the next day, if that makes sense. So how about targeted leads that actually want to talk to you? People that actually love to hear about what you have to offer. You don't have to convince them. And this is what I love about what we do, because it's really available for everybody. What would that be worth to you? You're about to discover that with our eBay system. So family is our number one priority. We just got back from Arizona. We took a trip to drive that RV that you see there on the right-hand side, cooking some marshmallows there with my boys. I'm a former Eagle Scout. My boys just got started with Boy Scouts, actually Cub Scouts. My son Adam on the left there is let me see the ranks. He's going to be a wolf. And then Caesar just got started as a Weeble. He's my oldest there in the middle, little Caesar. And then Luke, of course, is the baby. He's only 3 years old, just turned 3 on Mother's Day. But we spent Mother's Day weekend in Arizona. Didn't know where we were going to go. We just grabbed an RV. We rented it out, see if we like it, because we'd like to purchase one eventually. You guys heard me talking about this. If you've been in any of my previous webinars, you saw me set a clear, defined goal that I'm going to get an RV at least to take my family somewhere. And it's been on my mind. There it is. We grabbed that sucker, 24-inch big old box, and we drove them around. I got to say, if you have kids and you have an RV, it's the best way to travel, because you don't need to pull over. You can jump in the back of the RV and go to the bathroom right there while you're driving. Beautiful thing. You got to get rid of yourself of Debbie Downers, guys. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to work at a job, because they're not personally growth development people. These are people that work in the public school system. They went to school, got good grades, to get a good job, to be told what to do by somebody else's dream that they built at a job, right? Somebody else decided to build this company, and then these people that I was working with at this company, whether it's Hewlett-Packard, I work for big corporations like Hewlett-Packard, or small corporations, they never had the same mentality that I did, like, hey, let's work together as a team versus who can step on each other's toes on their pyramid scheme model called the corporate ladder. So how much is your time actually worth? You got to figure that out for yourself. I don't care how much I got paid at a job. If I didn't have my time to go do this kind of stuff that you see here on the right-hand side, you can't pay me enough. So why did I form EDS? Pretty simple. The concept was started for the support of my wife Okay, she was a first grade teacher, just didn't believe in the system anymore. As a matter of fact, if you guys are up to date with the current school system, they are pushing Common Core, which is actually funded by Bill Gates, who's somebody that I used to look up to. $250 million is going into that system to basically turn our kids into armed robots for the next 20 years of his future development of slaves. In simple terms, corporate slaves to the next system. And these tests are designed to teach kids unmoral values. When I say unmoral, I mean just taking God out of the system. That's not the way I was brought up. I'm sure a lot of folks can relate to that. One of the major problems that we're having here in the world, in all the world, is that same issue, right? We're taking God out of our system, and that's the problems that we're having. You know, we just heard about some kids starting fires, 17 and 19-year-olds here in San Diego. That happened last week. Some of you up with that. I mean, who does that, right? So with that said, you know, imagine if they were surrounded by good, personally developed people, leaders. Where would our world be today? And that's the passion that drives me to be an entrepreneur. It's not me just being about me and saying, look, I'm going to help you, I'm going to coach you, and that's it. I'm going to dump you to you go do your own business. No. Once you learn this information, my advice to you is, you know, have an open heart, go out and serve other people and help them out. Help them out, because I'm sure there's some people struggling that want to be out, not just financially, but just want to be out of the corporate depression system, because that's what corporations actually bring. So the concept fits the idea. Welcome to our system. We're the elite drop shippers. Okay, the concept is pretty simple. We take an item out of any e-commerce store. I don't care which one you bring up. Okay, it can be Amazon, it could be Kmart, it could be Overstock, it could be Walmart. We support all four as far as software's automation, but we actually have a lot more that you have access to, where you can find items for little to less than you would find on Amazon. Most people started off on Amazon doing this concept. That's the way I was trained when I first got started. But something happened. You know, I started making sales, but it wasn't enough. I wanted more. As humans, we always want more. And so after I was listing my 40th item, I went to my sponsor, my mentor, and I asked him, I said, hey, you know what, I think there's a better way of doing this instead of doing it all by hand. And so you guys are about to learn that tonight. But the concept is this. Let's take this mouse pad, for example. This mouse pad right here that you guys see on the screen, this mouse pad would have cost me, let's just say, here, let me bring this over a second. I can show you guys. So you got a mouse pad right there, right? Yep, mouse pad. And that mouse pad would have cost me, let's just say, $5 on Amazon. You sold it for $10 on your eBay store, but you never actually bought the item until it's sold. I came into your store. I bought the item as a buy now. $10, that's a pretty good price for a mouse pad. It's got a little bit of gel in there for my wrist. And then I send you $10 right to your PayPal account. You now have my $10, right? And then you go and you as a seller, you resell that item. You're going to take that item, send the $5 over to Amazon. Amazon's going to ship it to my doorstep, okay? So that's really the concept of drop shipping. You never have to physically touch the item. And so we've had plenty of folks doing this full-time, making a full-time income. Many stories have been created here with EDS. We just had a gal, you guys might have received an email, who has achieved the rank. Her name is Diane. I think she's on this webinar. And let me check. Yep, Diane Mum. So she's right here. Say hello, Diane. And she just hit, Power Seller, so congratulations for that. Give her a big praise there. By the way, as a Power Seller member, once you hit Power Seller, it means that you're doing great. You're making some sales, consistent sales, following the rules of shipping all that information. But the most important thing is if you have an option now with eBay with some benefits. You got discounts on shipping. You got discounts on health through eBay. And so you're kind of, quote, unquote, almost considered like an employee. That's what they say on the website. Because you're serving eBay, you're helping them make money, so they want to give back. And it's the only 1099 business that I know that offers a health plan benefits through the program. So why it works, it's a perfect model for shy people. My wife is shy, works for her. Copying and pasting lets you sales, and cha-ching sounds on our iPhones. The more you list, the more you make, because get this, when I was being taught this, I was told that, you got to be $1,000, $1,500 to make a full-time income, so you do an extra $1,000, $1,500 plus a month. And I said, well, that's going to take a long time doing it by hand. So I want to grab like a chunk of items and let's say a specific category. So like, sporting goods, I'm going to do 20 here, or maybe 50 if you want to get there faster. 50 items of sporting goods, 50 items of home and garden, and so on, and not do it one by one, but do it in chunks. And so I decided to really, after seeing this work from my wife and the cha-ching sound started happening, can never get tired of that cha-ching sound. You guys hear that? One more time. All right. I realized it's going to work for her. So I took my marketing skills that I've learned in the last 4 years, and my wife says, you know what, this is working. I think you should share this with your team. And I had this idea, say, you know, this can help a lot of people that have been jumping from money gain to money gain, from program that keeps shutting down, to make this into a solid system. And so we turned this into its own affiliate program. We've been around a little bit over 2 years. And August of last year, we launched Overstock as a software, and we decided to, instead of charging for 2 different systems, we developed one system, which you'll see here in a second, and that's what formed our system. So I shared this with my people, with my list, and it turned out to be a success. I mean, we've been stable, growing, healthy. We're not throwing people in and not coaching them. We're taking them literally by the hand and coaching just enough people to build a solid foundation here with EDS. And online marketing turns out to be a great thing because it allows me to travel with my laptop and my wife as well. And so you can do the eBay side, you can market a little bit and make both incomes on both ends. There's a little bit of a residual income on both sides because once you list an item on eBay, get this, if it sells once, it's going to sell again. So you just relist it, and you'll start seeing what your top selling items are, which is pretty cool. But you also have the opportunity to make a residual income with eBay on the back end, which you'll find out here in a second. So if you're into blogging, websites, social media, emailing lists, I do all these, okay? I hardly do anything on my blog site anymore because I'm so busy. But here and there, I'll shoot a video or two and post on my blog site and just really give some feedback to the people out there on the internet so they know who Cesar Ramirez is, because self-branding is the way to do it. Some of you found out about this webinar through a YouTube video or what have you, and you were interested because that person piqued your interest, okay? So we teach on marketing as well as Craigslist, Facebook, email campaigns, and traffic and sales. Okay, so our system includes a foundational training on internet marketing, so we have that as a back end as well as part of an added benefit. Some myths about eBay sales: you must be an expert, you need physical products, must know internet marketing, only cheap price products sell. And I got to tell you, if you're into physical products, we have a section on that teaching how to ship your own items at a flat rate up to 70 pounds, and I think that is powerful as well. If you want to build up your feedback score really quick, there's stuff sitting around your house that you'll never use. I just bought these cool little shoes. I don't know if you guys can see these. Let me bring this back out. Back to the Future little keychains. These are pretty cool, right? 3D. See that? And you can sell stuff like this on eBay. And I actually found this on Etsy. If you guys heard of Etsy, but if you go list it on eBay, why can't you just buy them in bulk and then go ship, sell them for a little bit more, make a profit? So it's got to make sense. It doesn't really matter what you do, but the concepts here are all the same, which you'll learn here in a second. So some challenges others are facing, the lack of marketing funds, which is where I started. I started to say I want to make money really quick, but I didn't have a big marketing budget. I didn't have an extra $1,000 I can throw at marketing, which is like pay-per-click. And so I started to teach about Craigslist marketing. Okay, which to me it's still been the best way of forming leads next to Facebook and connecting with people. Talking to unqualified prospects, people that didn't really have interest in business. Okay, that wouldn't be you because you wouldn't be on the webinar. But there's a lot of people that show up to something like a gym and then they say, hey, you know what? Everybody looks good, like working out, but I don't want to go out the next day. It sounds like it's a lot of work, so I'm going to stop showing up. I'm guilty of that. I paid $15 for my gym membership, and I was showing up like maybe once every 2 months. I got tired and burned out because I wasn't motivated. The financial commitment wasn't big enough, right? It wasn't until I started paying $120 to CrossFit Gym that I started showing up because I wanted my money's worth to get educated. Plus, I had a sponsor coached me on how to do what I had to do within an hour. And I showed up late yesterday, as a matter of fact, at CrossFit, and so I had to do 15 burpees. You guys don't know what those are? I can tell you they're not fun. So CrossFit's put together by a Navy SEAL. By the way, if you're a former military, thank you for serving our country. But the fact is that I love CrossFit. I love the way it makes me feel, the energy it builds me up to be a stronger person in my core system, because I do have personal back problems from sitting down, working on the computer all day. I guess that's most engineers, right? So CrossFit is the place to be. I committed to myself, and I was talking to the right mindset people when I started the CrossFit. That's my point of talking to the right people, committing to something, and make sure it's worth it for you. The system that makes money without recruiting, I think this is important. If you come from MLM or any type of background that you have struggles in recruiting, I know the average in the industry of working from home, most businesses require you to, number one, sell a service or a product, and then you got to get paid for that, or recruit somebody, and then they buy the product and service, and you get paid for that as well. You have that option here as well, but it's not required. You can still make money with just the eBay side. If you like residual income, you can actually balance both sides, which you'll find out here in a second. And you're missing a coach or a mentor. I mentioned that earlier. I was missing a coach or a mentor for my health and fitness because I walk into a gym and I just start, kind of playing around, not sure what to do. And, some folks will get leg day. You've seen those legs before. They're like Chicken Little, and they're bigger at the top. So you want to make sure you hang out with the right people that know what they're doing. And you're missing a community of servant leaders to engage with. So who is the system good for? It was created for the struggling internet and network marketer, part-timers, looking to build that residual income on the back end. We have a 2-tier referral system. More on that later. Stay-at-home moms and dads, that was us. College students, people looking for that team support, feeder system that can attach to anything. And you'll see here why I believe we are number one. We optimize solely using our in-house software. We actually have 2 different softwares that we built here, kind of similar to the one that eBay used to have before they shut it down. Use custom software developed in-house to save time. eBay does all the product traffic marketing for you. The system we created is like no other that people love. No need to talk to friends and family unless you, of course, care about them. This is our training center in the back office. You'll be trained on exactly what to do. I recommend everybody start here where it says the EDS Foundation video to really hear the passion in my voice of why I built the system. And then you're going to move on to Fast Start, complete modules 1 through 2A, and then show your sponsor, the person that invited you, 5 listings that you did by hand, so you really understand the foundation of how this works. Okay, and then you can move on to some more automation stuff. So that's going to take you about 30 minutes to an hour to complete that video. Show your sponsor 5 listings, of course, to get approved, and you can move on to creating your marketing system. We give you a marketing system as part of the package so that you can go out and start driving traffic, building your leads, and that's how some of you got invited here tonight. Okay, we use Skype and Facebook group, and that's really used for support. And if you're stuck, you can ask questions. We actually we've noticed a lot more people are moving towards Facebook now because questions don't get thrown into just one thread of chatting. It's all kind of threaded, which is kind of nice. So some sneak peek at our bulk listing tools. This is our Amazon on the left-hand side. Okay, you can pull some items out, list those items by keyword or by a single SKU number. This one here is a multi-SKU number. The right-hand side. Then we have an overstock that does the exact same thing, so you can go out and list those items. Our model is simple. We're a 2-tier affiliate system. We pay out 50% commissions to, let's say you bring in Jeff, that's 50% goes to you. And then if Jeff brings in Kim, you get 10% of all the production that Jeff does as well. Not just one time, but residual month after month. And that's what we offer here at EDS as a compensation to not just throw all our money into marketing and then allowing us to leverage ourselves by duplicating you. Because it's important for you to duplicate yourself, and you don't want to be the person that does all the work. I have a guy that who just sold me this 7-day cleanse, right, to detox my body, cleanse my body, and all that good stuff. And he approaches me, he's like, hey, can you help me with some internet marketing stuff? I know you're pretty big on the internet. I can, but have you ever considered making your product into more of an affiliate product so that you don't have to be the one doing all the work? Because I guarantee you're only as good as your next sale you're going to bring yourself out. So my point in sharing with you that story is some people have a negative connotation of multi-level MLM, right? Other people say, no, marketing, leveraging yourself is a great way to duplication. And once you get over that hiccup or that stumbling block that gets you there, I think that's where the beauty comes in. That's really what set my wife and I free was this model. Okay, we realized that if we go out and coach other people and not having to just leave it on us to take 100% of the profits, let's go out and share some of the profits of the company to other folks at 50% commission is pretty high. That's going to allow them to receive a good chunk of money to get pumped up to not only do it just for themselves, but go out and coach other people to do the same thing And it's a beautiful model. It's been working great for us. So the cost, we have 2 different packages. It really depends on where you're coming from. If you're a basic person that's never done eBay before, we recommend you start off on the basic level, $397 today, and then it's $97 a month to continue using our support, the title builder. That's for both those that we have. Amazon Keyword Grabber, Item Grabber, okay? Amazon SKU Grabber, you can get the Amazon Page Item Grabber, Overstock Page and SKU Item Grabber, and then the Team Support, of course. And then we have the Elite Diamond level, which is the advanced section, and that comes with automation for larger stores. Okay, Kmart, you get the Kmart bulk lister, a keyword grabber for that. You get a page item grabber as well, which grabs all the items on the Kmart page. Walmart, some folks decided to go do Walmart or Kmart or Sears, so that's where we added this whole section to a different area to expand your store, because some folks feel that Amazon is too competitive, and to me, it's whatever's in season. A lot of these stores have the same products. It's just they're worded differently. And really, to me, it doesn't really matter where the item comes from. In my philosophy is, what we teach you here is, if the item's titles are different, you can make it completely different, and you can be different. I mean, you can really list the item for the price that you want it for. So Amazon Top Seller Item Grabber, which is pretty hefty. Like if you're having to grab each title from an Amazon seller that does not optimize the titles, you can literally grab the SKU number from this product here, and it's going to pull all the items that they have sold in the last X number of days into a file. It's really how my wife makes most of her sales, actually, is she found herself a top seller that has over 3,000 items up, right, in her store, and then she keeps on selling the same items. She actually hasn't listed anymore, and those items keep selling over and over again weekly since she's listing them here like 6 months ago, which is pretty cool. Low quantity software trick automation. This was actually a trick that a gentleman on the team named Jimmy discovered, that if you show a low quantity, people want the item more, and this software actually pushed the item quantity back up. So we're coaching 10 people this week. Immediate steps to take action. You want to email the person that invited you and be the first to say, I'm in, I'm ready, this makes sense, I deserve your sign-up link right now. Let's get you coached within the next 3 hours, guys. You'll have access to this software I just showed you that we just launched today. In the beginning of this webinar, I showed you that. And if you missed it, basically what it does is it goes through all your items that you listed on your eBay store, and it's like a brand new eye is looking at that item. It's clicking on that link. eBay records it as a new view, and it helps the ranking of the item up. Okay, so that is available for both the basic and the advanced section. It's not just an advanced software, but it's for both accounts. So whichever membership that you decide that makes the most sense for you. Okay, if you come from other dropshipping programs, they get the same question I can almost count the number of days that get the same question. What makes you guys different from other systems that I've seen out there? And here's a simple answer. Number one is I'm a software engineer. Okay, guys, I come from a background of working for Hewlett Packard, Xerox, a lot of corporations, and I've always looked for ways to automate my life and leverage myself. And then I decided to take the ego out of myself and keep it to myself. I said, you know what, I'm going to go share it with other people because I know it works. I'm going to share with people that I care about, which are folks on this webinar or on my list, and then you guys have the ability to use that software. That's number one. Number two is the people involved are all servant leaders. I've conditioned them from the very beginning to go out and just serve other people. And if you're stuck and you have a question, there's always, I mean, you can talk to anybody in our team. If they have a question, they'll get the question answered within 24 hours. Okay, whether it's in the support ticket system that we have, or whether it's on Facebook. But most people involved with EDS, no one can ever complain. No one's ever said, I never got them support. The only way they will not get ever support is if they don't follow the system. It's like they sign up and they disappear for 24 hours or beyond. Then there's nothing we can control that, right? But if they're willing to plug in and be coachable, like I mentioned earlier in the webinar, then you will get support. You will get support within 48 hours. You should have your 5 listings completed after getting educated, and you're ready to move on to listing as many items as you wish on your store, depending on your store, of course. Everybody's got different eBay accounts out there, so we can't recommend one over the other, but the idea is to get to your financial goal, which you want to write that down right now. What is that number for you? Because without that number, you don't know what income you got to replace. If you want a part-time income of an extra $1,000 or $500, write that down. If you want an extra $2,000, $3,000 a month, write that down before you get started, so you know that number you can share with the person who invited you. I think that makes life easy. So the economy just got better. This is Dawn McIntyre, one of my lovely students out there in Florida. She is the one that actually shared with us the idea of clicking on each item. I just thought it took forever to do it by one, and especially if you have a lot of items. So we decided to make a software for that. So thank you, Don, for sharing that with us. Amongst that and other benefits, Don is always out there helping answer questions, which is awesome. Louis, he was on the webinar here not too long ago. We appreciate Louis out there in New York. Here's a picture with him and Trump. Pretty cool. But Louis is awesome leader, coach, and just enjoys what we do here. So I appreciate you, buddy. Chris Smith out there in Cincinnati, Ohio. He's a gentleman that is a full-time dad, used to be a middle school teacher, and had a passion for what we did here. And he tells me the other day, he goes, I've never built anything in the home business industry that is consistent as I have here with EDS. So I appreciate you being on and supporting us, Chris Smith, and thanks for everything you do, buddy. Chris Kimmer out in Las Vegas. I would say she's the baby of the she started with us from the very beginning. On her birthday, actually March 1st of 2012, we launched our system, and she's been with us since then and always out there serving. She is typically on at nights or early in the mornings supporting and answering questions. So thank you, Chris, for being active with our team and supporting everybody. Our firefighter, JC, always out there active, and appreciate firefighters, especially last week what happened with us here in San Diego. If you guys didn't see the news, it was crazy. A lot of heat. We actually left for the weekend on Friday to just leave the area to get out of the smoke because it was pretty bad. So thanks, JC, for supporting us on the EDS side. So Chris and Aries up in San Antonio, Texas, both him and his wife run their eBay store. By the way, if you have a spouse, work with them. Build a store, and you can each do your own store. I believe you can get up to 5 or 6 stores on per social. I can only really handle one with all the work I have to do here at EDS. So really just depends on what you're doing. My wife runs her store. We got another store that we're working on that she's working on. But it's, for the main thing, I use my store really for testing, seeing what works and what doesn't, and then I bring that to the team. By the way, I used to have an unlimited account on eBay. I used EDS as a way to coach what doesn't work, and I destroyed that account, unfortunately, because I found out what not to say to customers, and you will receive that as well in the FAQs. Katie Vega, 5 kids, single mom, making a full-time income here with eBay as well with the EDS system, and we appreciate you as well, Katie. Thank you very much for all the support. So the final step, guys, you got cash in your PayPal account. What are you going to do? Quit your job, go travel, fly, or live the RV lifestyle? That sounds like so much fun. Spend more time with your family, buy the car or house that you've always wanted, give to your favorite charity or start one. And I think that's important. If you have a charity that you care about, go give to that charity. Support that charity or go start one so that you can create the information that you really want in serving other people. Engineers can do it too. This is Moises and his girl out there in Puerto Rico, Dimari, and thank you very much for the engineers that kept an open mind. This is him right here doing this as a part-time income and doing fairly well with EDS. So again, guys, the road to success is about servant leadership. If you have that mentality, you like helping people, make sure to get back to that person that invited you. Let's get you coached in the next 3 hours so you can start chinging. We like to call ourselves a home of ching. We've been doing this for, again, over 2.5 years, and it's been nothing but a blessing here for our family and my family. It's given my wife and I a reason to work together, something more important than income. It's really about going out and serving, helping other people. So if you're at a point in your life where you're like, I got to do something different, that's what we were at. We were living on her teacher income, which wasn't very much. Back east, Chris Smith was making $1,200 every 2 weeks. She was bringing home about $2,000 every 2 weeks. After taxes, it came out to $1,500, and so it was paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, and that had to change. Okay, I'm proud to say we're making over a multiple 6-figure income a year in the business, and it's taking care of not just us. We're actually paying out more than her and I used to make together on a monthly basis to the team, which is pretty sexy, right? Like you're paying out more than you used to make at your business, or rather at your job. That's a good position to be in. Okay, you've now created a lifestyle of helping people to have jobs from home, right? Working from home, and eventually freedom, if that's their goal. So it's a beautiful position to be in, guys. We're completely blessed, and whatever goals that you have, don't look at yourself as how can I be like Cesar Ramirez, or how can I be like Chris Smith or John McIntyre or anybody else on this webinar that's already involved with EDS, but how can you beat what you did last month or last year, right? And is this going to be the system that's going to get you there to fund whatever project you're working? If if you're a day trader, if you're an investor, or whatever you're working on, okay, and you need extra income, this may be the solution for you. I will say this, I've had people ask me if they can outsource this work to like a outsourcer overseas, and I would say there's a lot of moving parts to it. I wouldn't suggest you doing that right away up front. I've never seen people successful at that. As a matter of fact, I've seen outsourcers actually screw it up because they try to do it themselves, and they don't really understand all the lingo in English and how to follow directions. And so just be very careful if you outsource it. Obviously, that's your business. You can do whatever you want with it, but when it comes down to it, you want to make sure you understand how to educate an outsourcer before you actually go out and outsource it, if that makes sense. So with that said, guys, I'm going to sit around for about 10 minutes here answering some questions, and then I got to head out the door. And I appreciate everybody being on this webinar tonight. And let me answer some questions here. Give me a second.